I'm gonna hit the recording button, so I don't forget about this.
Awesome.
This stuff will probably
Do you
get
want me to
uploaded
get on
later.
Tailspire by any chance?
No, I'm just using it as
perfect.
like a nice background, a
Love that.
pleasant background. Since we've got the Al-Thrah market board up, it is beautiful. I would like to show it off again, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it.
All here for it.
Hannah did such a good job, like decorating that board. It's so
Mm-hmm.
good. I'm really enjoying the Tailspire workflow of like, I'll do a thing and block it out and do the majority of stuff, and then Hannah just
Yeah.
goes in and is just like, I'm gonna put plants everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Love
Little
that.
detailing. Yeah, so, shortly in the future, it is become increasingly likely, if not inevitable, that the squad is going to end up in Al-Thrah. That being said, you, Zharan / Prince Erasmus, have some stuff you want to take care of on your own. Curious how you want to handle that as far as, like, when should these things happen in session? Are we going to handle it kind of like we did the other time, where you just kind of, like, disappear for a hot minute?
I think so.
Okay.
Personally, I just think that makes the most sense. It's how I imagined it going in my head, and you can feel free to just say, like, I'm not sure if that's going to fit my plans. I figured originally Zharan was going to introduce the party plus Feihu to Libra to start, just kind of like get that foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then at some point would break off from everyone saying, I have some things that I need to take care of here in town. You are free to do what you'd like. I will be back.
That sounds good to me. And then you're planning on taking some, doing some disguising. You're planning on disguising yourself as Libra and then, like,
Correct.
visiting all these individual people. Awesome.
Yes.
That sounds great and perfect. I do have some, I've fleshed out a little bit of the political situation in Al-Thrah.
Love that. I'm gonna have myself muted so I can just type this, like, rapidly.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of it is, to be fair, very based on what you have for Al-Thrah, right? So one of the big ones is just like fleshing out the Sultanate as like an organizational group. That being obviously the most important would being Sultan Samarabi and his wife Nina Samarabi. So do spouses typically take the last names of their spouses in Al-Thrah?
I guess that's up for interpretation. It could be either way.
Given their children, I think it might be super interesting if they don't.
Okay.
Because that would be Prince Semsura married to Lady Mila Ymira of House Ymira. You have Erasmus engaged to Lady Sibella Tenon. And then the currently unspoken for Prince Samarabi II. Yeah, so that's, I think, is interesting because it's this kind of the separation of names, meaning that these individuals are still like very much their own whole individuals. In combination with royals not being defined by their spouses not being defined by the Sultanate. It's interesting. It re-emphasizes the like combination of the two of them in a kind of marital relationship, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then, do we have a last name for Nina? Do we want to come up with a last name for Nina?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm absolutely okay with that. I know I don't have a lot written for her, and that's kind of like on me.
No, that's totally fine. I'm curious, is Nina a noble? Like, is she from the high houses or the monetarists, or is she like someone the Sultan fell in love with?
So quite literally, she is not from the continent.
Ooh, okay.
She was from Gaiul originally.
Excellent.
And I think I have that written in her name.
So
yes.
like the
she's not born from the Fei'jai. She was from Gaiul.
From like the continent that like New Kyla and
yes.
Sanguine and all that and El-Thrah are on. Excellent.
It's from that continent.
Cool.
Came over here. I originally was playing around with the idea that like she was kind of like a scholarly sort, like a historian.
Ooh, yeah, into
kind of
that.
came over wanting to like learn more about just kind of like the culture over here on this side
Yeah.
of the world.
Do you think
And
she would be a patron
Go
of the library?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I don't know how their relationship starts, but it was just kind of like I kind of played around the idea with like he was just like completely like love struck at first sight upon seeing her. I also played around with the idea that it wasn't very like well received at first.
Makes sense. You know, like
Because
everyone
she
wants
was
their
just
kids to have a
foreigner.
political marriage, you know?
Yes. She was very much a foreigner who just kind of came in to like the royal's life. But honestly, otherwise she's been pretty well received by people.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Names are so fucking hard.
I'm so sorry. I know.
No, this is not on you. This is just an everything thing. Names here. All right, fantasy name generator.
Yeah.
Just need a last name. And let's see if they've got like a scholar names or something like that. Fantasy and not wizard names isn't really what I'm looking.
All right. Fantasy name generator.
Pirate names. Ooh, prophet. Let's see what prophet names puts out. No, that's
I'm looking at surnames, and it's always those where it's just like a noun and then like another noun attached. Unless I give her a French last name.
I mean, you could.
I absolutely could. I kind of like the sound of these a lot more.
Yeah.
Than what I'm seeing.
Let's see, where's French? French names.
I'll just post this in text for. I'm on the surname one. There's English surnames and French surnames.
Trudeau.
Except the English ones are like what I'm seeing, like Slate Hide, Green Splitter, Clawwoods. I'm like, nah.
Funny.
And then the French ones are like so very specific.
De La Fosse.
Oh, I like that.
Here.
I actually really like that.
I'll post it in. I can just post it in text for voice.
I don't care.
Not Alexandrine, but like.
Yeah.
So that'd be Nina de la Fosse.
I like that, honestly.
All right, into it.
All right, let me write this in the character bio for her.
So very much a scholar. Maybe it would be fun if they met while the Sultan was like, no, because the members of the Sultanate are not allowed to leave. Because I was gonna say like Samarabi, Prince Samarabi was on sabbatical, like doing some education overseas. But it might be more interesting if Nina came to Al-Thrah for study reasons and they like met. But in any case, they had 3 sons. Your brother Samsura and sister-in-law Mila Ymira have had 3 children of their own. What's Erasmus's relationship like with, or not Erasmus, Zharan? Zharan's relationship like with their nephews and nieces?
It's pretty like okay. Like Erasmus is always like really friendly with everyone, like overly friendly and overly familiar with a lot of people. That's just kind of like how I characterized him.
Yeah.
Back when he was at the palace. It's all of like the sons of the current sultan all have kind of like very different like personalities and whatnot. And I gave Erasmus or Zharan a very specific one that I think that he really wanted to be like the favorite uncle almost.
Yeah,
like,
I'm into
absolutely. It's just like I want to like I'm going to be the fun one. I'm going to be the cool one.
Make these kids fucking love me.
Yeah. And that's like not even a diss to like Zharan's younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like it's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Where it's the two brothers are also very different than Zharan as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where just like they're a lot more, I don't want to say political, but like a lot more kind of like adult in a way.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine
Zharan being the middle brother. Where it's like, your kids, you should enjoy being kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that you have that.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because you mentioned in kind of the lore in general, and we've seen in the relationships that kind of to patch relationships, the royal family has started making very overt political marriages, and clearly Zharan's older brother was the first.
Yes.
And I don't know how Samsuma felt it. Clearly, I don't know how that relationship went necessarily. We can definitely chat about that if we want to. But, like, I see being next in line for the Sultanate, being, having this very overt, very dubiously voluntary political marriage, seems like the kind of person who would feel fairly duty bound in general. Like, is the kind of person to understand, like, hey, we didn't ask for this, we were born into this was not something that we requested, this is something we were given, and like definitely feels the responsibility to take advantage of that, to not just like shirk that responsibility for freedom, but to take that and go like, okay, cool, this is my life now, whether I wanted to or not, and I'm going to work really hard to make sure that I do well with what I've been given.
Sorry, this is Samsuma, right?
Yes,
the first one?
Prince Samsuma.
Yeah. It's I wrote that pretty much as well, because he's literally first in line right now.
And then that went well. Clearly, they are a couple. I kind of like the idea of keeping their marital relationship a little bit more vague as far as at least recent times, for sure. I imagine that while you were still more active in until very recently, by all accounts, they love each other very much, and they have 3 children that they also both love very much. But yeah, definitely very politically active, very like on top of the goings on, very very committed to keeping up appearances. And I imagine a little bit of your the pressure for you to be a good fun uncle may come from they are probably emphasizing those sorts of importances on their children as well. Because like for them, like as far as they are concerned with this lineage, like Arabella is the next sultana, right? After Samsuma.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they are already kind of starting in on the same pressures that you saw your older brother go into when he was very young. And then what about Samarabi II? What is he like? Traditional youngest kid, got whatever they wanted, no responsibilities, or are they like playing the political game too?
They're also pretty much playing the political game. It's
Gotcha.
I kind of had them as like not kind of like a lazy, but just kind of like a kind of personality, where it's just kind of like pretty like middle of the road.
Makes sense.
I put pretty smug yet laid back attitude.
Sure, yeah.
But at the same time, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm a royal, so what?
Has all the power of being a member of the royal family, but almost none of the responsibility.
Almost none of it.
And sounds like is taking advantage of that, for sure. Is very willing to take advantage of their station to play the political game, but at the same time is not under the same kind of crushing pressure that Samsura is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then we have Libra, the attendant to Prince Erasmus, who fiercely loyal not only to the Sultanate as at large, but like to you specifically.
Yes.
I imagine kind of how attendants tend to be in very restrictive royal families. Probably a very much a close confidant and friend. I assume, yeah.
It was quite literally, I described Libra as Zharan's only friend at a point until they met everyone else.
Yeah. And no, as per his letter, has purportedly been doing some things in your absence. Has been going on some adventures. I also wanted to introduce kind of that counterpart for your father, a man called Baldrin, who's an attendant and bodyguard of the Sultan Samarabi.
Baldrin?
B-A-L-D-R-E-N. Baldrin. No vowel. I'll just put it in the chat again, too.
B-A-L-D-R-N. Got it. And this is basically the equivalent, but to the current Sultan.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And I think that relationship with the Sultan, between the Sultan, is why kind of seeing you young and maybe struggling with royal life is why your father probably pushed to get you your own like actual attendant to kind of start developing this relationship with. Baldrin is definitely more explicitly a military force. Not like military is too strong a word. Just he's a fighter. He knows what he knows. He can get into scraps and knows what he's doing. Additionally, he has a little like your father, the Sultan, has a little cadre led by Baldrin called the Wings of the Sultan, who are kind of the Hawk Guard, but more this like little personal bodyguarding force, because in
kind of like a royal guard.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Because in any situation like this, having just a little bit of private fighting power for the protection of yourself and your family, especially when you have a family, becomes important. They're not overt. They're not they're not like the Secret Service, but they kind of are. They're a lot more interested in like keeping the Sultan himself safe, but they're around every once in a while, and Baldrin especially. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I just keep myself muted so you don't hear typing.
No worries. Just wanted to make sure. And also, all of this is extremely soft. If you hear anything you don't like, or if we've established something that you want to change, please do. And canon is fake. We can do whatever we want.
For real. How long has Baldrin been around? Has it been literally since Zharan was born?
I think Baldrin and Samarabi have been friends since before Samarabi met Nina.
Gotcha.
I have a little bit of additional lore regarding their relationship, but you may have to discover that yourself.
That's totally okay. I'm fine holding off on that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like kind of the Sultanate as a political organization. Is like they have it is the royal family. They have power over in the legal. There is the royal court is the primary like legislative tool. It's basically just this large council between the royal family and the monetarists, who are here to represent the financial interests of the city of Al-Thrah. Previously, like in history, the royal court, this meeting between those two groups was established to basically with the monetarists representing the people, it was this like purposeful placement of checks and balances to make sure.
Sorry, which group?
The monetarists were originally established to represent the people, but since over time, it has shifted that the royal family is typically more sympathetic towards the people of Al-Thrah than the monetarists. And that's happened over time, over probably a roughly 50 to 100 years at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Stuff that, like, and I'm at this point mostly just reiterating things that you've put in your notes, but, like, a lot of what is done as far as, like, political intrigue within the royal family is done through couriers and attendants and staff and servants, particularly because they are not allowed to leave the city. So there is this level of proxy that has kind of that is a necessity for much of the royal family, which means that they need a very small selection of people that they know they can really trust, yourself included.
Yes.
And that has resulted in this, like, kind of pseudo-royal information network of people who are very loyal to the crown itself. Second faction is the Hawk Guard, so the actual fighting force of Al-Thrah. They are, as of all establishment, also very loyal to the Sultanate. Of the three major political factions, the third being the monetarists, so you have the Sultanate, the Hawk Guard, and the monetarists. The Hawk Guard very much lean toward following the orders of the Sultan and the Sultan's attendants and staff, but do largely act more like a peacekeeping force than they do an army. It has been a very, very long time since Al-Thrah has been in any kind of organized military conflict. So keeping people available to for defense is useful, but any Hawk Guard that exist in the ranks today have probably never seen open combat and are not expecting to. And that's not necessarily that's not like a bad thing. It's just how the situation is right now. And then the final faction being the monetarists. There are a number of noble houses. I'm going to say, like, just hand wave vagary, like probably close to a dozen major and minor noble houses. The ones that are particularly relevant being the two that had enough sway to actually get one of their family members married to a member of the royal house, being House Tenon and House Ymira. Or, well, House Tenon tried. Is trying. But House Ymira succeeded, and that is a huge move politically. It means that, like, just by virtue of close family, House Ymira is very deeply tied to the royal family and has sway over them individually, or so it's said, right? The implication is that because Prince Semsura is married to Mila Ymira, that, like, she has the ear of the royal family because she's family now. The extent to which that is true, or to which Mila is actually taking advantage of that and trying to sway things like policy and sentiment within the royal family, is dubious at best. But that is the idea, and why many of the other more powerful houses are trying to do likewise. Most notably recently, House Tenon. As far as I thought it would be fun to establish that House Ymira is actually largely in control of a lot of the, like, entertainment industry in Al-Thrah. So very, very much like
House Ymira is?
Yeah.
Okay.
if that would be fun. So like lounges and performances and theater and music and acting and like those guilds tend to fall under the purview of House Ymira. Which also means that, like, depending on who you ask, there may be members of House Ymira that are doing less than scrupulous things, running underground brothels, gambling dens, the kinds of things that make a lot of money, but are not, strictly speaking, presentable to the greater influence of the noble houses.
Yes.
But House Ymira got their wealth somehow, and it probably wasn't all above board. I think there's like when it was announced that Prince Samsura and Mila Ymira were engaged, there was probably some nasty rumors going around that they like Samsura met Mila in a brothel, and like Mila's like not even a real noble. She's just like some lady in Al-Thrah. Like,
yeah.
Just actual slander.
Mm-hmm.
House Tenon, we've established, is very much textiles. They are more or less the one of the noble houses that like basically is the reason Al-Thrah is a city of 1,000 colors. They are textiles and glass and dyes and livestock and wool, and they are like what is really bringing all of this fashion color to Al-Thra. They have a purview over a great many things, but they are definitely associated with appearances. And then
you can say they basically hold a monopoly on the fashion market.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the kind of thing where like there are certainly many independent merchants and traders, but if you follow the money and go up the line enough, eventually there's a member of House Tenon in there somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the other house that we actually mentioned briefly previously is House Kessel, who are huge players in the mining and ore and rock trade. They're the reason that they are like, if Ymira is the life of Al-Thra and Tenon is the color of Al-Thra, Kessel are the bones of Al-Thra. They are the stones upon which you walk as you pace through the markets of Al-Thra. They are the builders and miners and rock cutters of the city. So have this kind of down-to-earth connotation, this very, like, hard work gets rewarded attitude. But also relevantly, because they are miners and smiths, that they definitely manufacture a non-zero number of weapons and gadgets and items that could be used as implements of war throughout Al-Thra and beyond. They probably have the most influence as a noble house outside of the city itself, because they sell much of they have quarries, you know, they have mining operations. They're selling these raw materials to the other Oasis towns and even exporting it beyond the Phasia itself. That was a lot of lore. I hope that was good. Does all of that sound, is there anything that you either don't like or want to change or add to or have some yes ands to any of that?
No, I think that's pretty alright. It's definitely one of those things where, like, oh god, I'm definitely gonna have to listen back to this recording because I feel like I missed a bit.
I can definitely, like, lots of details in there. Big summaries. 3 major factions.
Yes.
Monterists,
I have the 3 houses. I have, yeah.
And then the royal family are the big players in the Sultanate.
Yeah.
The Baldurin has some amount of influence within the Hawk Guard, as well as the, like, I need, like, I need to come up with a name for, like, the high officer of the Hawk Guard. Actually, let's do that quick. Let's do some more name generation.
Oh boy. Okay. So, like, a high commander?
Yes.
I feel like it's because a lot of the city of Al-Thrah it was basically formed as kind of like a hub for a bunch of people, but they try to keep it still as like really respectful to like the original like settlers of the Fèche. Like it tries to keep like a lot of things where it's just like still really respectful to like the Kenku and the Aarakocra that were there first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like something more avian sounding would probably be the best. The only thing is, I do not know any words for these. I also think it would just be fitting because Hawk Guard.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a little irony. I'm sure that they get some guff at parties about that. Let's make it a she. Something with a good consonant in there. Ooh, actually, Renee.
Renee.
R-E-N-E, Renee. Or R-E-N-E-I. I like to try and spell things as phonetically as I can.
Yeah.
So that's a first name. Renee.
I hate to say it like this. Do we have like a race for them? Are they human? Are they?
I think Aarakocra. I think
Aarakocra?
just straight up Aarakocra.
Then maybe they don't need a last name?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of our bird folk don't have last names. Yeah,
I'm just kind of
just
special. Renee. I think that just
probably
makes
Captain
sense.
Renee specifically.
Yes.
Okay, so Captain Renee. So major players in the Hawk Guard being Captain Renee and Baldrin.
Baldrin's human though, correct?
Correct. Alright, is the entire royal family human?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. We could also make Baldrin and Aarakocra.
I'm fine with whatever you'd like.
Make them an elf. What's the species breakdown in? We got
oh god.
Elves and half elf. We could make Baldrin a half elf. Give him kind of a ranger vibe.
I don't even remember where I have like this information written.
It's the top of the Al-Thrah City of a Thousand Colors document.
Oh my goodness, it was that document.
Yeah, I've been reading that a lot lately.
I was on the wrong one, and I was on the original one that has
History
like,
of Fame and
interest.
Fortune.
Yes, I was on that one. I went, Okay, so half elf.
Yeah, let's say half elf.
Yeah. Nice.
Baldrin's a half elf. Captain Renee is an Aarakocra. Excellent. And then the three major houses in the Monetarists being House Ymira, House Tennant, and House Kessel. But knowing that there are more.
Yes. Those are just, like, the big three, basically.
Right. There are many nobles, or rather, there are many wealthy, influential individuals in Al-Thrah. But of those, these three houses easily are the kind of heart and soul of Al-Thra.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Fucking lore.
Yeah.
I figured if we were to start delving into some of the politics of Al-Thra, by necessity or by interest, it would probably be a good idea to get some sense of what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, Zharan's disguise tour.
Basically, exactly that.
Starting with Libra, probably, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's We can do that. We can just say like that. Everyone. We could also do this when everyone else is there.
Yeah, we can. If you'd like to.
It's because I also don't really know what to say to Libra other than just like, hey, can you give me a rundown of everything that I've missed?
Yeah. Yeah, we can absolutely do. I think honestly, we can probably do that in session because I imagine each of these scenes, because the ones folks I know you want to visit are Libra, Mom and Dad, and Cybella, which I realized I have been mispronouncing this entire time. I keep looking. I finally was looking at the document. I'm just like, wait, I keep saying Cybella. It is Cybella as defined in the document. So.
It's okay. If you prefer Cybella, that's fine too.
No, I want to use your pronunciation.
Okay.
And
I just thought that way.
Feel free to correct me too.
I literally don't mind. And personally, I'll be honest, every time you would say it, I always heard Cybella.
Oh, funny. I will just put a little bit more emphasis on it. So awesome. So we're planning on that happening when you get to Al-Thrah. Awesome. I will... One thing I think I would like to do here is actually... would it be okay if we implied that you and Libra actually have a little bit more, like, letter back and forth before getting to Al-Thra? And I think even before you get there, I would like Libra to inform you on a couple of, like, prevalent rumors. Or just, like, I give you a couple current events going on in Al-Thra right now.
Okay.
One of the more relevant ones is, unsurprisingly, one of the young noblemen of House Kessel, in fact, both a son and a daughter of House Kessel, have both been sending superfluously, almost flirtatious letters to your younger brother, Samarabi II. And it looks like that house is like, all right, well, look, if Erasmus noped out, we gotta get in on this before this deal seems to be gone, right?
Gotcha.
Very kind of unknown how the young Samarabi is responding to these things. Also, how old is Prince Samarabi II?
Okay, he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that for a fact. There's kind of like larger age gaps in between them.
Yeah.
If Zharan is 20 now, I believe the older one is like 26, 27,
Sure.
and I believe Samarabi is like young, like 15.
I was about to say like mid-teens.
Like 15, maybe 16.
Yeah.
In the History of Fortune and Fame, I have 15 for him.
Sure. Then yeah, likewise, they're maybe less flirtatious letters and more like there are communications going between the adults of both the Sultanate and House Kessel about maybe looking at another arranged marriage, which would certainly piss off House Tennant, since they clearly haven't gotten their satisfaction yet, basically. One of the other rumors, not a current event, is that the first team to go looking for Prince Erasmus in Hav's Wrath has departed and not returned. So someone was unfortunate enough to take Cybella up on horror bounty, effectively.
Ooh, that's not gonna be a great reaction. Ooh.
No, not ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the rumors right now.
So just the two?
Just the two. I'll let you know more if anything comes up
become prevalent
while I'm doing some nonsense. And you will get more information once you're actually talking to people in Al-Thrah.
Yeah.
But yeah. That sounds good. Do you have any questions or thoughts or schemes? Anything? Is there anything like you really want to do or make happen in Al-Thrah? Not like Zharan, the character, but like you, Caroline. Is there any like drama you would really like to explore in Al-Thrah?
I don't know. I will say for a fact right now, Zharan is trying to keep it as low-key as they can, especially with the bounty going up by as much as it did.
Yep.
That they do not want to stay in the city long at all. Me though, I don't know. I personally would love to, like, I would love to have the party just see Cybella at some point, or just like see the royal family, even for like a brief bit, where it's just like maybe it's like a public like announcement, or just kind of like a public just meet and greet almost.
Yeah, that would be super fun.
I think that could be interesting.
I'm very down for that. Gut check of how comfortable are you with how antagonistic Cybella is right now?
I'm for it.
You're for it? Okay, awesome.
I'm on.
Then we can definitely really continue pursuing that angle.
I'm okay with this.
I find it gratifying.
I think it's really funny.
It's a good time.
Just because I like the idea where it's like very much to the Zharan, like yes ma'am sort of thing, just like head down, yes ma'am. I like the relationship between the two just because it's so like not polaristic, but it is. It's just the biggest thing I guess I have questions for is, obviously I believe they're friendly enough with each other. What is like their standing on one another?
So I think maybe the most reveal. Actually, do you have dice on you?
I do.
Can you go ahead and roll insight for me?
Yes, I can.
Twice, actually.
Twice?
Once for insight into how your relationship used to be, and one for kind of an insight into Cybella's mood now, considering your correspondence.
The first one was a 15 plus 4, so that's going to be a 19 for the first one. And the second one is a nat 1.
Nat 1, okay. Excellent. I'm actually going to roll something.
Please.
Okay.
And that one makes it so much funnier with the conversation they had over the sending scrolls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, so Cybella rolled okay. But relevant is like, when you two were together for a period of time, when everything was going great, you were literally probably making wedding plans together. A lot of that was being handled for you. You both are you are both at an echelon of being in which you don't really handle that kind of thing. That is handled for you. You are just consulted to make sure it is to your tastes. Cybella was incredibly happy being with you, incredibly happy to be around you. You had a like genuinely friendly dynamic between the two of you. But with a 19, there was always a little nagging in the back of your mind that the thing she was happy about and happy with wasn't you.
Yeah.
You weren't the thing she was. You were emblematic of why she was happy. She was happy to have this relationship, but it always felt just a little bit like it wasn't really about you.
Yeah.
And with secondary insight, considering your recent conversations, like she's very blatantly angry, but also clearly concerned. Someone doesn't put a 5,000 gold bounty on the head of someone they don't care about, right? So clearly you are still valuable to her. Like, it can, like, she definitely still has feelings and cares about you. So, like, to you, this relationship really hasn't changed much. It's just that you leaving so suddenly has put her into this, like, tizzy of concern that is really not making her think straight.
I honestly almost want to say with the one, just because I kind of rolled as I did, like, yes, she's angry, yes, she's concerned, but I think Zharan's almost second-guessing himself. Or just, like, maybe, like, it was just all in my head sort of thing. Maybe she does genuinely
Look,
truly
I was
care,
drinking,
and I just took that away.
You know?
Yeah.
It was, there's a lot of, we just came back to Mirage, there was a lot going on. I mean, she couldn't have been that mad, right?
She's mad, but, like, it's maybe she did truly care about me, and, like, I was just an idiot for thinking that she didn't.
Yeah, you know, like,
I think that's kind of the current thought process going in.
People get the most mad at their partners or their kids, the people, their family, the people they care about when they accidentally put themselves in danger. She's clearly just really concerned for you. I like putting that into Zharan's head. I think that's funny.
I think that's exactly what's going through his head.
Awesome.
Which makes the conversation with Peshmina last session so much funnier.
That is very funny. Yeah, I am...
Oh.
Now I definitely want to make sure we do those visits in session rather than separately. Because I think that is a conversation I want other people to hear.
Which one? The one where
With
Zharan
Sibella.
just goes one-on-one to meet Sibella?
Yeah. I think that would be deeply interesting.
I'm for that. I'm fine having that, like, in the session then, so we just don't do that one here.
Yeah. And I imagine those conversations, even if they take some time, will be interspersed with other things going on. Folks have other reasons to go to Al-Thrah. We've got Feihu's whole bit going on around, too. It sounded like you intended to actually introduce Libra to Feihu, too, right? So...
Yes. So I know Zharan originally gave Feihu their,
signet ring?
like, signet ring. They're probably taking that back at this point and being like, it just makes more sense if we're all going that I guess I just introduce you to the person I was going to anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
It probably would also look a little more legitimate if I were there and not just, here's their ring. Trust me, like, I didn't kill them.
Hey,
Smiley face.
You know this prince who's been missing for several months? I have their ring. Trust me, they sent me to you.
Source, dude, trust me.
Exactly. Yeah, that sounds great. So, yeah, even that scene wouldn't be... It's not like you would be doing that alone.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Sounds good.
Because I also just like the... just the idea of just like, all right, Zharan's like, hey, I'm just gonna peace out for a bit. I have some things to do. And they're just like, okay, where are you going? I'm like, I have to visit my fiance briefly. I'll be back.
And it gives other people the opportunity to sneak up on you, you know?
That would be really funny.
No one in our party's particularly good at stealth, although Peshmina's pretty good.
Peshmina's kind of good. That would be very funny if she was
That would be
up.
deeply amusing.
That would be a tee-hee.
Awesome.
Am I the best at stealth? I don't think I am.
You do have invisibility, so, like,
I do
categorically, yes, but not maybe literally.
Yeah, Peshmina has one more in stealth than I do.
Makes sense.
Still not bad, though.
No.
I mean, we both have invisibility, though.
Oh, right, because Peshmina, fuck.
Monks are also has
nuts.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I
think that was
everyone's subclasses are. Oh yeah, it was a Glacia tiefling.
I think that's a tiefling thing.
Everyone has picked incredible subclasses. This is so amusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever have just like a thought of like a little lore tidbit or locations or characters. I know you've got lots of other things to be thinking about. But if an idea ever pops up while you're, I don't know, like making dinner or whatever, feel free to shoot me a message. And it, well, like 99% chance it just will become canon immediately. So.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you want, like, names of, like, certain places, like, certain, like, not merchants, but, like, not stalls either, but just, like, stores.
Maybe.
Or other things like that. Because I know we made up the one tavern, which I can't for the life of me think of right now.
The dramatic, it was an inn. It was the...
It was an inn. It was like, yeah, like a drama.
Was it the two-headed peasant, right?
I think?
Because of the masks, the like happy face, sad face, and it has performances running literally 24/7 on the stage downstairs, which I find deeply amusing.
Honestly, it'd be funny if that inn was run though by what was
a Ymira?
Fucking yeah,
it absolutely is. Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be really funny.
Then yeah, that's just true now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Sick. I will continue creating drama.
Absolutely.
Doing nonsense.
Love that.
I'll probably throw when is good up tomorrow. I know folks usually don't get their schedules until like Friday.
Yeah.
So it'll take a sec, but I did decide to do a bit more planning between sessions because I have a little bit more like strict lore and writing to do, because politics is the one thing where like I really can't improvise that. I need to like know factions and names and relationships before I start creating intrigue between them. I did get that continent map done.
Yeah, I saw it. Looks really good.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be doing little tidbits, like a little guide to that shortly, and also the version that Astior has annotated with the regions of positive and negative energy. So that'll be interesting. All right. I don't think I have anything more for you. Thank you very much for doing this. This has been hugely helpful for me.
Yeah.
I hope that you enjoy all the additional lore that I have given to you.
I have quite a bit.
This is what happens when you go to your home zone. Everyone else is going to get the same treatment, just later.
So, yeah. I guess the only thing is just the fear of just, oh god, am I going to take up too much time because I'm visiting 3 separate people then?
I super wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
Especially because, like, spotlights happen in any given thing. Like, we did a lot of nonsense about it, but honestly, a lot of the Tower really put a bit of a spotlight focus on Pejmina, because that's like her faction shit.
Yeah.
That'll probably happen again if and when we start dealing with them again. We have Sky Pirates coming for Loka, right? Like we've got like a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. No worries about taking up time. If anything, I have learned that this group of y'all, and me included, love to listen to people's own individual shit. I think on multiple sessions already, a few different people's stars were just being able to sit back and listen to other people's drama.
Yeah.
So
I'm
true. Super not worried about it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited.
For sure.
To play. Always excited to play more D&D.
Oh, absolutely.
Sick. All right.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much. It was good talking to you about
I should stop
this.
recording.